Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats got an early Christmas present with about $1 billion in campaign donations from FTX. According to Elon Musk, Forbes, Elon Musk reveals $1 billion Democrat donation theory. This is Forbes. Cointelegraph. And by the way, the crypto journalists are one of the best they're the best journalists, I think, or some of the best journalists in America or in the world. I think Bitcoin is going to get to below 10,000. I did predict the crypto crash in 2021. You can watch the playlist and you can watch the segment in the pinned and description section. I don't say that gleefully. I respect the people who invest in crypto, although I think that there are more examples of FTX and Luna. And, I do think that Tether, Coinbase, and Binance are all going to go under, just like FTX. But Cointelegraph is fantastic. Crypto Potato is fantastic. There's a lot of really wonderful publications, crypto publications. But anyway, $1 billion. Cointelegraph. Elon Musk alleges SBF Sam Bankman-Fried donated $1 billion to Democrats. Crypto Potato. Elon Musk says SBF donations to Democrats probably over $1 billion. And probably over $1 billion. You have a situation where $70 million was disclosed publicly. You can go to Open Secrets, or you can just find out it's public record that Sam Bankman-Fried was the second largest donor of the Democratic Party. That's why he got out on bail, $250 million bail, which, by the way, the money was, how did he obtain that money? That $250 in the bail was the money of other people. That was a Ponzi scheme. He had two companies, Alameda Research, and which was a hedge fund, and FTX, which was an exchange. The exchange was taking in money from investors and then and subsidizing the losses of the hedge fund. It was a Ponzi scheme, a crypto Ponzi scheme, but even worse than that, they were fabricating these FTT tokens. I believe the token was FTT, is worthless. But here, Decrypt.co, judge in SBF case recuses herself over husband's firm's work for FTX. Cointelegraph, judge pulls out of SBF FTX case citing husband's law firm's advisory link. And then you look at Trump and you see an entire network system, an entire political party, but a political party entrenched within society. You have a judge whose husband had to recuse herself in one of the biggest cases we've seen in decades. Well, really ever, in terms of financial crimes. And she had to recuse herself. A judge in New York. So then you have $250 million out on bail. That's not even his money. None of that was his money. It wasn't worth billions. And these are the wonderful people, like the adults are in the room, right? The adults are in charge. The adults, they're the ones. FTX, invasion in Europe, inflation 7 to 8%, another recession next year. Oh, but they're responsible, wonderful people who love democracy. And then they railroad Bernie Sanders in 2016 and 2020 and 2 years ago. And then they're changing the format because they can't continue to cheat him in Iowa. Bernie Sanders is always going to win Iowa. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. And then they did that 2 primaries in a row. The greatest liars are the ones who complain about Trump lying about crowd size, and they lie about FTX or Hunter. I mean, think about the money flow. Hunter with hundreds of millions of dollars. FTX with over $1 billion, according to Elon Musk. Private servers with top secret intel siphoned outside the U.S. government. What if Trump did these things? Trump is not going to get indicted because he didn't tell anyone to commit a crime in January. Just like Democrats didn't tell 14,000 people to get arrested or commit $1 to $2 billion in property damage, although I agree with why people were demonstrating. I agree with the cause, But that whole summer of that year before January, you had $1 to $2 billion in property damage. So, and 19 lives lost, and 14,000 arrests, and every day, every night, clashes between law enforcement and demonstrators who, at that moment, weren't peaceful, or in those instances, weren't peaceful. But you said CNN, fiery but mostly peaceful. It's a meme now. You have these people who are in front of a building set ablaze, and it's fine. It's mostly peaceful. It's fine. But you're not going to have, if you're the Democratic Party, and by the way, Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you so very much for watching. Thank you for helping get this channel to 200,000 plus subs. Be here every day at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Set your watch, set your clock to 8 a.m. Pacific time, ladies and gentlemen. And every morning I was kind of struggling as to how to create a schedule for this channel. Other channels, most other, larger channels have schedules where you can expect a video at a certain time. 8 a.m. every single day forever on this channel. 8 a.m. Pacific time, expect a YouTube video, a segment, and upload. And then hopefully I can pick other times of the day for people to expect. I also, I'm thinking about H.A. Goodman's other channel. Just expect a 9 p.m. Pacific segment there. But that'll be soon. That'll be in a couple of days. I'll start that in January. But 8 a.m. Pacific on this channel. It's set every single day. They're not going to have Twitter. The Twitter Files Part 9 came out. We'll talk about that this evening. I might have a live stream. I might not. They're not going to have Twitter. Government agencies are not going to be able to, along with Twitter executives, silence conservative voices. And that's exactly what took place. Simply pointing to the Twitter Files 1 through 9 point to immense, this very corrupt relationship between government agencies and former Twitter officials. The rebuttal has always been it happened, so therefore it was okay. It was legal. There was nothing wrong with it. Of course, the Bureau is just informing Twitter of people that broke guidelines. Well, that's not what these agencies are for. Government agencies don't exist to ensure that Twitter guidelines are addressed. There's a political motive. Well, what's the political motivation of these government agencies? What was the political motivation of government agencies and Twitter to suspend the New York Post account? It wasn't because they were so... It's not national security, by the way, to obsess over material that is true. If the DNC emails were the truthful email, the actual emails of Democratic Party officials that showed that Bernie Sanders was being cheated. The Democrats have marketed that into, another country wants you to know. It was an operation by another country who wants you to know that the primary is a complete facade with Democrats. Oh, don't you know another country wants you to know? It's called propaganda. You have to be stupid to believe it. But there's a lot of people who, they're very intelligent, but they just lack wisdom, and they just don't really care about logic and what's obviously taking place. Another country doesn't always want you to know what's bad for Democrats. See, whenever something is incriminating with Democrats, with Hunter's laptop, it could have been an effort by the Kremlin because they like Trump. There's no evidence that they like Trump any more than they did President Obama, who came in with a Russian reset. Okay? President Obama in 2012 told Romney the 80s want your foreign policy back. The 80s want their foreign policy back. He was making fun of Romney. The Republicans were the hawks pertaining to that country. Then Democrats turned on a dime, the entire political establishment. Trump's impeached because of an ellipsis. He didn't commit a crime. But graft and bribery with Hunter and Joe, those are crimes. Private servers with top secret intel, yeah, that's a crime right there. But watch the short on this channel. James Comey said, the Honorable James Comey said, no reasonable prosecutor would indict. They're not going to have Twitter silencing conservatives, the New York Post. They're not going to have FTX $1 billion. They're not going to have the House of Representatives. Now, they still have, essentially, state parties in Arizona and Georgia. That needs to be addressed by Trump or by DeSantis And there has to be an olive branch, detente, some communication between the RNC and the state parties. Okay, because there are, like I said, there are no never Bidens, but there are too many still never Trumps, never Trump Republicans. And again, these never Trump Republicans would rather have a Democrat in the Oval Office than Trump. So hit subscribe to this channel. Be here in a couple of